these companies they're prescribing Zoloft, man. Zoloft for, premature ejaculation. What if you are one of those guys that just comes too easily? You just bust in under 5 minutes and you want to last longer. When I was on Lexapro, dude, like I could have sex for hours, man. Not to be bringing race into things, but particularly amongst black men, it's just not talked about openly. And there's a stigma attached to talking about mental health and showing that vulnerability. I do have one critique for these websites that prescribe these medications, and I know I just kind of praised telehealth and the benefits that it offers when it comes to getting your medications and seeing a doctor remotely. But I'm not really sure I feel comfortable with the idea of prescribing anxiety and depression medications over the phone. As somebody who's taken antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications in the past, these in the wrong dosages can cause people to have erratic thoughts, erratic behaviors, suicidal ideations, suicidal, attempts. If you are struggling with depression or anxiety, the first thing I'm going to recommend is to go see a professional. I would really, really recommend seeing somebody face to face, because if you do get that script in your hand and you go get it filled for, for example, Lexapro, and it turns out that that dosage is either too high or it doesn't work well with your brain chemistry, it could have disastrous results. I know personally when I was on Lexapro, it made me into a complete zombie. I didn't care about anything, but it also kind of, because you don't care about anything, you don't care about anything good nor bad. It's just, you don't care. You just exist. One more criticism I have about these companies is the way that they're solving premature ejaculation. And so pay attention to this. You have hair loss, okay? And so you take finasteride. While you're taking finasteride, suddenly you're one of those guys who's unlucky enough to suffer from side effects sexually. So you can't get your junk up, or you can't get an erection. So what do? You go back to Hims, and Hims, the doctor will prescribe you some medication to fix your erection. You get your shit up. But, what if you are one of those guys that just comes too easily? You just bust in under 5 minutes and you want to last longer. These companies they're prescribing Zoloft, man. Zoloft for, premature ejaculation. And this has been eaten up on Reddit. Like they have really criticized the hell out of these companies. And this goes for Lemonaid Health too. I know I bought their product or their finasteride, but guys, Zoloft is an antidepressant, man. Like it's one of the strongest antidepressants, and it has a history of some pretty crazy things happening. Yeah. What antidepressants will do to your junk is it reduces the sensitivity. And again, guys, full transparency on my channel. When I was on Lexapro, dude, like I could have sex for hours, man. Because basically you just can't feel anything. You don't have that sensation like, well, I'm going to bust real quick because I'm just too sensitive. It eliminates all that sensitivity. And so what you're left with is just going through the motions, essentially. So it's not a pleasurable experience. You'll last longer for sure. But it's not going to be like pleasurable. You're just numb. And that's if you can get it up, because if you're taking the Zoloft to reduce the sensitivity, one of the side effects of Zoloft is erectile dysfunction. You can't get your shit up. So they prescribe you Viagra, Cialis, or it's some generic form of those two drugs. And what it does is it creates the cycle of dependency on these drugs, guys. This is my main criticism. Like I said, these 4 companies, if you're just going for finasteride, there's nothing wrong with them. They're totally legit. If you're depressed now and you're feeling suicidal, guys, seek help. I've been there, man. I've literally been there, and my mom has, she reached the tail end of that, the worst outcome of committing suicide from these antidepressant drugs. Okay, guys. So please, if you're feeling to the point where you feel like hurting yourself or somebody else, or maybe if you acted on it before, seek help. Okay, guys. I fully support that. And I will always support that, because mental health is not talked about enough amongst men. And, not to be bringing race into things, but particularly amongst black men, it's just not talked about openly. And there's a stigma attached to talking about mental health and showing that vulnerability. as it relates to mental health in the Black community.